Hello, Albsterz here. After completing FNAF 6 and getting the Lore Keeper ending, I have a lot of questions regarding Midnight Motorist, because it leaves a lot of questions in my mind, and is it actually William Afton that we're playing as? But before we jump into the theory that Fuhnaff has on the Midnight Motorist, check out the merch if you would like. I've updated the store. There's all crop tops, jumpers, and t-shirts, and down the bottom left as well, there should be a little thing that says View Products if you just want to go check that out and grab some merch yourself. But without further ado, let's jump into I Solved FNAF's biggest mystery.
I think we can all agree that one of the biggest and most unsolved parts of the Five Nights at Freddy's games is Midnight Motorist.
Has this still not been solved to this day then?
Midnight Motorist, where we see a kid who got lured out of his bedroom and into the woods by an animatronic. Who was the kid? What animatronic do these footprints belong to? Well, over 5 years later, I think I might have figured it out.
So it actually isn't Afton and he... Okay, so yeah, it wouldn't be his kid, would it? Oh, this is interesting. Because I feel like all the three mini-games in FNAF 6 all tie together. Because we know at the very end...
the theory I have today could change how you think about every major event that happened in this series. Please remember that
so
these
the happiest
are just
days.
theories. And without further ado,
we love some theories.
Because this
Let's
is going to be a wild ride.
Okay,
I want to get this out of the way first. I believe Midnight Motorist is showing us what happened after William Afton killed Charlie. Why do I think this? The minigame is literally labeled later that night in the game files. Orange Guy is driving a purple car, just like Purple Guy, and the rain animation is the same as the minigame where Charlie got killed. The opening sequence of FNAF 6 also shows us someone wearing all orange, all purple, and all purple with an orange tie.
So would it be... No, it wouldn't be... No, it wouldn't be Emily. Would it be an employee? No, I'm confused.
To me that they're interchangeable. But the one thing that intrigues me the most about this minigame isn't the orange guy or what happens before that. It's the unmarked pile of dirt in the clearing.
Oh,
that
I didn't find the what?
Has always bothered me. Why create a secret pathway to an area that just has a mound of dirt on it? Well, if you're a hardcore fan of FNAF, you'll know that this isn't the first time we've seen an unmarked pile of dirt in this franchise. In the Twisted Ones novel, the Twisted Animatronics are known for burying themselves during the day so they can come out at night and capture kids.
Excuse me? So there is going to be one of the Twisted Ones. And this is from a point of view maybe of an employee or someone that works at Juniors, because we go to the Juniors bar. I need to continue reading. I'm really reading the Silver Eyes ones at the moment, so the Twisted Ones is next. What are they, like vampires?
Which could line up with what we see in the minigame. The Twisted Animatronic climbs out of the ground, goes to the house, lures the child out of his room, and
not luring the child out.
But there's one big problem with that. The Twisted Animatronics don't show up in the games. Before I scrapped the idea, I decided to look at the Ultimate Guide and see what its interpretation was of the unmarked pile of dirt in the clearing, and to my surprise, the book was thinking the exact same thing as me. Quote, other theories have popped up around the secret grave in the clearing, with many fans linking it to the Twisted Ones novel, who would bury themselves to hide during the day. The fact that Scott put this theory in the book made me think that I wasn't as far off as I thought. The character encyclopedia even calls out this specific event from that book. Quote,
yeah, but just because you don't see him in the games, it's just something that Scott hasn't implemented. It doesn't mean in the universe itself. The minigames could just be building that out and giving reference to the Twisted Ones. Ooh.
Twisted Freddy is uncovered buried in a backyard. He kidnaps Charlotte Emily from her childhood home, which has been destroyed by a tornado. So then I got to thinking, if a Twisted Animatronic is responsible for the ending of Midnight Motorist, what animatronics are the in-game versions of the Twisted Animatronics? Well, the Twisted Animatronics are known for using illusion discs and capturing kids in their stomach hatches. So what is the one animatronic that we think has an illusion disc on his chest and that is built for capturing kids in their stomach hatch? Funtime Freddy. There's no way that Funtime Freddy was the one that captured and killed the crying child.
Maybe? Because we had to take an illusion disc off him, if you remember, in sister locations. And also with the blueprints as well, you could see the kids were inside and they were built for that.
Right? At this point, I know there's people screaming at their screens right now saying, it doesn't matter who killed the crying child, how could the crying child die twice since we see him die in FNAF 4? And also, there's no way that a random character like Funtime Freddy was the one that captured and killed the crying child, right? Well, I decided to look into it a little bit more just for fun. And hang on to your seats. Something that I tried to do when researching this theory is understand the context of when this game came out and what we knew at the time. Sister Location was released in October 2016.
Okay, hold on. What if the bite of 83 is just an illusion? That happens. The crying child dies to the twisted animatronic in the backyard. That is the actual death, but the bite of 83 is just an illusion that is made up. Oh, I don't know. Maybe no, that can't
Twisted
be.
Ones was
Oh, look
released
how
after
cool
that
they look,
in
though.
June 2017, and FNAF 6 was released after that in December 2017. I can only assume that the story for the Twisted Ones was being developed simultaneously with the release of Sister Location. So in that context, everything checks out. So what about the context
maybe
of
we
what
should
we
have
see in
seen
games,
some.
especially of Funtime Freddy? Well, let's first look at his blueprints. In Sister Location, we were given blueprints for the 4 main animatronics: Baby, Ballora, Funtime Foxy, and Funtime Freddy. This is something that Scott has never put in a game before, so there had to be a reason for it. But
And
for
some
the most
sort of
part,
connection.
nothing really stands out, except for Funtime Freddy's and Baby's. In Funtime Freddy's and Baby's blueprints, you can see a kid captured in their stomach tank, but this isn't something new. Obviously, we see Baby capture and kill Elizabeth in her 8-bit minigame, but Funtime Freddy having a kid captured inside his stomach is interesting. This never really pays off because we never get to see him capture a kid.
Or do we? With this minigame, that would make sense. Oh, you're onto something.
One of the main features of Funtime Freddy found in the blueprints that is
voice
only
mimic
listed
slash
on
luring
his is
storage
voice
thing.
mimic slash luring. What if Funtime Freddy was the one who lured the crying child out of his room in Midnight Motorist? Need more proof? Another
would
thing
make
I decided
sense.
to look into was Funtime Freddy's voice lines, since characters' voice lines have been pivotal over the years for figuring out what's going on. So let me play
Marky
a few
Moo.
of Funtime Freddy's from Sister Location.
Knock, knock. Anybody home? Oh, birthday boy!
He says, "Oh, birthday boy, knock knock, anybody home?"
They kind of go together like knock knock, is anyone at the window? Birthday boy, hello. And he could be mimicking his father's voice, maybe?
When have we ever had another birthday boy in this franchise that isn't the crying child? The crying child is literally known in the franchise for being the birthday boy. At this point, I was losing my mind. Funtime Freddy is known for luring kids and capturing them. We see a kid literally inside his stomach tank in his blueprint, and his voice lines seem to directly coincide with what we see in Midnight Motorist. So if you have any knowledge of the FNAF lore, you'll know that there's still one big problem. How does it connect with what we see in FNAF 4? Why do I think the crying child was the one that was taken? Well, let me explain. The story in the 8-bit minigames in FNAF 4 seems to leave out some important information about what happened beforehand. We first see the crying child crying in his bedroom, surrounded by plushies of the whole Freddy Fazbear gang. This
Okay. So FNAF reckons that the Twisted One events maybe have happened just before the bite then? And that's why he's crying constantly and stuff like that, because he's been scared by the animatronic that was outside the Twisted Funtime Freddy. Let's
tells me
see.
that he's a fan of the characters, or at least he used to be. We learn in FNAF 4 the reason why he's now scared of the characters at the pizzeria. No, don't you remember what you saw? The exit is the other way. Hurry and leave. It's too late. Hurry the other way and find someone who will help. You know what will happen if he catches you. This implies, at least to me, that the crying child saw someone get caught at the pizzeria and something bad happened to them. But what if I threw out the idea that he didn't see something happen to someone else? He saw himself get killed at the hands of what he thought was Fredbear, his favorite character. What if the Funtime Freddy animatronic used an illusion disc to make himself look like Fredbear, lured the crying child out of his bedroom and to the pizzeria, then killed him? This would explain why in FNAF 4 we only see Fredbear with a giant stomach mouth. So if the crying child died at the hands of Funtime Freddy, why do we see him die again in FNAF 4? Well, in Sister Location, something that I think we overlooked at the time is that Afton was definitely trying to create robot humans. And in FNAF 6, we learned that he was experimenting with Remnant. I believe that after Crying Child died at the hands of Funtime Freddy, he successfully rebuilt him in the Sister Location bunker.
Okay. But and then why wouldn't you not tell Mike? Because and then he goes through all them turns of events because he sees like his brother died because it was his fault. Surely his father would actually tell him, and but no, knowing Afton, he wouldn't. I reckon the bite is an illusion. But yeah, I feel like the crying child died to Funtime Freddy outside, and then they created an illusion that sees him in the bite of 83.
When he rebuilt him, he started running tests on him and observing him, using the cameras found in Sister Location and the Fredbear plush. But, as we learned in the main novel trilogy, people who are rebuilt as robots still remember their past. So when we see the crying child again, he's more scared of Fredbear's family diner than ever, due to him remembering witnessing his own death. To hammer it home even more, in FNAF VR, there's a level called Night Terrors, which
Oh, no, I haven't played this yet. I haven't played the VR version yet. Well, I have to play it in non-VR because I haven't got, like, the money to buy a VR headset because they're expensive. But
which is basically FNAF 4. But this level doesn't include the animatronics we saw in FNAF 4. In FNAF VR, the first 3 FNAF games have all of the same characters, but not this one.
Really?
So who are the characters featured in Night Terrors? Well, you've got Nightmarion and Baby, who are both tied to robot kids in the novels. But then you have Funtime Freddy and Nightmare Fredbear, the killer and his disguise. One other thing I should mention is the heart monitor flatline at the end of FNAF 4. If the crying child really was a robot when he got bit, why would he have a heartbeat? In Pizzeria Simulator, we play as Michael Afton, the crying child's older brother. We know at this point that Michael is basically a walking zombie whose insides have been scooped out and replaced with remnants and all of the Sister Location animatronics. The Sister Location animatronics then left his body, but he still lived. And if we really do play as Michael in FNAF 6, there's an Easter egg where you can sometimes hear his heart beating during the salvaging section.
Oh, that's actually a thing? Okay, that's disgustingly cool. But, so their entire family then would just be made of, what? Oh, we're going like full Will Smith iRobot on this in terms of FNAF now. Like, who is the real actual, like, person? Who is human and who is not?
If Michael, the half-robot walking remnant zombie, can have a heartbeat, why can't the crying child even as a robot? I mean, in the books, the Charlie robot can bleed, she can breathe, she can cry, she can eat. Who says a robot can't have a heartbeat in this universe? From there, now there's just little stuff. Afton says in Midnight Motorist that the crying child ran off to that place again.
Oh, you were probably screaming at me because it is Afton. You're an idiot. You're probably like, you big idiot. I don't know. The lore is so complex and I just want to take it in and I'm trying to learn because Midnight Motorist was such like... They all were on a cliffhanger,
If the crying child really was a fan of the pizzeria before his death, of course he probably went there all the time, but this time he wouldn't come back. You could even point to the Immortal and the Restless from Sister Location and connect that to the rebuilt crying child.
The baby isn't mine!
It's a metaphor for Afton's rebuilt, undead version of his younger son not technically being his. FNAF 4 ends with presumably Afton telling his son he's broken and that he'll put him back together.
Okay, that is kind of big brain to have the parallel between like Dracula, but wouldn't... Yeah, because and then also if... Hold on. If the TV is coinciding or some underlines with it, that would relate to the Twisted ones because they come out as of a nighttime like vampires and Dracula themselves, so it would be connected to that. Yes?
An odd choice of words to tell a human kid on their deathbed. What if Scott decided to take that even more literally than we thought? Look at the Curse of Dreadbear, where you've got an animatronic that sounds similar to Fredbear, who is literally branded as a rebuilt Frankenstein-like animatronic. In an early Easter egg, you could even see him towering over the Afton house.
What? We got the Iron Giant. Scott, can we please have a Freddy Iron Giant kind of like anime or animated short? And you just see Fredbear just going up into space. I think that would be amazing.
I mean, look at the home screen for FNAF 4. You can literally see the Nightmare animatronics who use illusion discs hiding outside in the bushes. Why do the footprints by the bushes in Midnight Motorist have 3 toes? Well, we learn in Ultimate Custom Night that this is the official model of Fredbear. The Ultimate Guide also confirms this, along with the fact that all of these versions of Fredbear are the same.
Oh, you have all different kind of grippers. Alright, we're gonna have to look at every animatronic's feet for research purposes. Nothing else. Nothing
The
else.
model used for Fredbear in Ultimate Custom Night is the same as Classic Freddy, who has 3 toes. By the way, the Ultimate Guide also states that Fredbear was the first Springlock animatronic that Henry created, and that Henry was known for wearing the Fredbear costume. Earlier on in the book, in the FNAF 2 section, it heavily insinuates that the location we see in the Save Him minigame in FNAF 2 is Fredbear's family diner. If Henry was working that night, dressed as Fredbear in the Save Him minigame, his conversation with Charlie at the end of FNAF 6 could have been more literal than we thought.
I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. Not my daughter. I couldn't save you then, so let me save you now.
I couldn't save you then, so let me save you now.
So he already
When trying
knew
to think
about
of
it?
other potential problems with this theory, I couldn't help but think of the Happiest Day minigame from FNAF 3.
This is a crazy. Oh, so the books tie into the universe and the games more than we think then? Oh, I'm gonna have to buy the encyclopedia as well, aren't I? Oh no! I'm getting deeper and deeper into this game's lore. I'm gonna go crazy.
This is said to be the minigame where the puppet finally frees the crying child's soul along
That was
with
a really
the
good
other
ending.
kids. Honestly, before looking into it, I thought this would ruin the theory. But is this really the crying child that we see in FNAF 4? Have we ever really stopped to think that this could be another kid, possibly Cassidy possessing Golden Freddy? Let's look at the evidence. In the Ultimate Guide, it never specifies
Because they do
who that
both
child
share.
is in the Happiest Day minigame. They just call the kid a gray crying child. In the character encyclopedia, the pages for the puppet and for Charlie both never mention the crying child.
Cassidy wouldn't kill another child, would they? Cassidy wouldn't then kill the crying child possessed as Golden Freddy. I think that's a little bit too out there. I think it's more to do with the illusion disc and stuff like that. I'm just trying to think of all the different possible scenarios and stuff that they could go through. But I would really like to see the twisted ones. I know we're not gonna see that anymore because Still War is taking over and they're probably gonna be doing a prequel, I think they want to do. Next after Security Breach.
Talking about the Happiest Day. And possibly the biggest piece of evidence is on the crying child's page in the encyclopedia.
Whoa.
He is not listed as appearing in FNAF 3. This book even has a whole page dedicated to the Shadow Puppet, who appears once in the entire franchise in the background of the FNAF 3 minigames. But one of the most important characters in this franchise, who's believed to be in FNAF 3 for 8 years now, is not listed.
Yeah, but they're not just gonna go, yep, he's in FNAF 3 and confirm it through the encyclopedia, because I think that'd be the biggest letdown, I think. You'd go, oh, it's in the encyclopedia. I think piecing, more of the clues together to then finally suss it out that it is in FNAF 3 instead of Scott just going, yeah, let's put it in the encyclopedia.
If you get the bad ending in FNAF 3, you see 5 animatronic heads all still lit, symbolizing that their spirits are still trapped. This includes Golden Freddy in the back. But when you get the good ending and all of their lights go out, the Golden Freddy heads don't. It's actually not even there anymore. This is confirmed in the Ultimate Guide. We learn from the character encyclopedia that Charlie, aka the puppet, decided not to move on after the Happiest Day because Afton was still out there and souls were still trapped. I believe the soul inhabiting Golden...
Hold on. Did that say in still active in Lefty? Which is why she is still active in Pizza Simulator inside of Lefty. I didn't know that! What? So Charlotte is now in Lefty then? Huh? I thought she was always in the puppet. But she's now at... Does Lefty... I don't know. I've not finished all the games. This is the thing. For anyone that's watching that's new and hasn't been a part, going through the game, we've just completed FNAF 6. I'm going through all the endings at the moment. It's taken me a very long time. The blacklisted ending is... It's nuts. But we've still got to play Ultimate Custom Night and all the ones forward on that, even FNAF World, so...
And souls were still trapped. I believe the soul inhabiting Golden Freddy in the Happiest Day chose to do the same. That's why we don't see Golden Freddy or the puppet in the good ending. We do learn in Ultimate Custom Night that the vengeful spirit refused to move on after FNAF 6 to keep Afton in purgatory.
He tried to release
And that's what Ultimate Custom Night
He
is
tried to release us. But I'm
Afton's
not gonna
purgatory.
let
We
that
learned
happen.
about that recently.
I will hold you here. I will keep you here. No matter how many times they burn.
This would match up with not wanting to move on in the happiest day. So how does this fit into the timeline? The only way this could work is if the Funtime animatronics were around earlier than we thought. And
I really do think they were.
In night 4 of Sister Location, Baby traps us inside a spring-lock suit from her old pizzeria. But it seems to also be a Funtime style suit due to the faceplates on the front. So that must mean that the Funtime suits were around before the spring-lock suits got decommissioned.
And maybe Funtime Freddy was the first one they created in the suit? Or maybe maybe that was the first one that he created.
Ultimate Guide insinuates that Charlie was the first victim of William Afton, and I believe that to be the case. If my theory ends up being correct in any way, that would mean the crying child died the same night as Charlie. So what was Afton's motivation for creating the deadly Funtime animatronics before anyone's even dead? I have a suspicion that his wife's death might have played a role in this. Maybe he was so upset that he started drinking and became an abusive father and eventually a killer. But ultimately, I'll admit, it's impossible to figure out. He could have just been a killer to be
I did know the wife ended up dying.
There is no reason. So if the crying child was rebuilt, where is he now? I know I've changed my mind on this a lot, but I believe we see the crying child again as Gregory in Security Breach.
Oh no, I haven't played Security Breach. We don't know about this. Whoever Gregory is, he needs to change his shorts. What are they? What is his outfit? Look, he's even got odd socks on.
When I make theory videos, I'm not trying to say I'm 100% correct. I just like theorizing and coming up with new perspectives.
It is cool.
Outside of my theory videos, I've never really subscribed to the idea that Gregory is or isn't a robot. But with the release of the character encyclopedia and the fact that the crying child and Gregory look similar with a band-aid on both of their left knees.
That is quite a quinkydink. Oh, we don't have odd socks. They're both blue. Okay.
It's starting to become hard to deny. As MatPat pointed out, the animatronic heads in Sister Location do look extremely similar to Gregory's face. I mean, the character encyclopedia blatantly implies that one of these 3 animatronic heads is alive. If the Immortal and the Restless really is about Crying Child, that would explain why that room from Sister Location appears in Security Breach. In Midnight Motorist, we see a drunk and abusive father come home from claiming his first victim in Charlotte Emily. While he was gone, though, an animatronic of his own creation captured and killed his own kid by...
Oh, yeah, that would make sense. So maybe he created the Twisted ones with the sister locations. He kills Charlotte, and then the Twisted ones, like, wants to come and see him. Doesn't end up running into Afton, but ends up running into the child instead.
By pretending to be his favorite animatronic. Sometime later, possibly through seeing Charlie possess the puppet, he figures out he can revive the dead in the only way he knows how, by creating a rebuilt robot version of his own son. He begins to run tests on him, while keeping heavy surveillance on him at all times. Afton's oldest son then throws him into Fredbear's mouth on his birthday, getting fatally bitten by the animatronic. But his father reassures him, saying, "You're broken. I will put you back together."
Yes, because they see blood and stuff, didn't they? So Afton must have created a proper lifelike robot of a child. Otherwise, he'd just have a dent in his head, wouldn't
In the interview Scott had with Dawko, he mentioned that he imagined FNAF as a trilogy, and then kept it going from there, expecting every game to be his last. When it came to FNAF 4, he said he wasn't satisfied with it, because the story he told was too vague, so he made Sister Location. I believe he took the vagueness from FNAF 4 and ran with it, creating a, quote from Scott, almost too sci-fi FNAF game. And this was my almost too sci-fi FNAF theory. I hope you enjoyed, and
I loved it.
For watching.
It was awesome.
I think we can all agree that one...
Make sure to check out Fuhnaff. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. But this is where I'm going to be leaving this video here. I may be completely wrong, but as Fuhnaff said, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Theorizing about FNAF is really, really cool. And hopefully once I'm fully caught up, I can then watch the last game theory timeline video and also dive into it a little bit more. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. If you watch another video at the end, put the Twisted ones into the next video you watch. Boom, 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 and I will see you in the next video. Bye, 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 bye.
Count what you have now, don't count what you don't have.